was a number of concerns from boxers, coaches, indeed the medical team, medical staff, the ringside doctors, regarding these two boxers in particular. Blood tests were taken, a gender test was taken as it was during the Women's World Championships in 2022.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So Imane Khelif has won gold at the Paris Olympics in the women's welterweight division, beating China's Yang Lu in a 5-0 decision. The person with XY chromosomes has won gold. In women's boxing, we had two athletes who competed against Lin Yu Ting raise up the X sign to represent XX chromosomes. Their way of protesting having to compete against a male athlete in a women's competition, especially in women's boxing, the sport where you would think this would never be allowed. So remember, Khelif and Yu Ting both failed gender tests. The IBA conducted two separate tests and found that they indeed have XY chromosomes. Found that these two boxers are indeed male.
We wanted two tests, so there's two tests required, not one, but two tests, time gap between, and then to the next World Championships, which was taking place in India. Okay, so we go to the Female World Championships that took place between the 15th and 26th of March. Both boxers entered the championships, and at which point, on the 17th of March 2023, both boxers were asked to take a further blood test. That happened, and on the 23rd of March the results came through, and it demonstrated the chromosomes that we refer to within the technical and competition rules that make both boxers ineligible, and that was then further ratified by the BOD, our board of directors. It was taken there to remove both boxers from the championships.
All the female boxers who these athletes have competed against, or at least in Khelif's case, they haven't even won a round in their bouts. Khelif has been winning 5-0, all the way to the gold medal. In one of Yu Ting's fight, a female opponent was beaten at the back of the head at least twice, and a point wasn't even deducted. Could it be that these people are receiving special treatment as well as being allowed to compete in the women's category? So obviously, Khelif was ecstatic, told the Associated Press, "For 8 years, this has been my dream, and I'm now the Olympic champion and gold medalist." I do wonder that at what point did the Chinese boxer, Yang Lu, come to the realization that if she had not had to compete against male boxers, she would be the Olympic champion right now. She would be a gold medalist right now. Now she has to settle for a silver medal. And this is something that only female athletes have to go through. The what-ifs, the change in outcomes, the missed opportunities. Male athletes don't have to go through this. It's only women's sports that is being affected by this inclusion. And this is all because sporting bodies are allowing males to compete in women's categories, whether it's trans-identified males or males born with abnormalities, males born with DSD, as I believe to be the case with Yu Ting and Khelif.
These females going into these sports, whether it's the Olympics or my federation, there's no disclosure. We have no idea if we're going to be competing against a man, so they don't have to disclose that information. Same along with these genetic tests. People are wondering about these tests that the ISB did. They don't have to disclose these medical records. These XY chromosome tests that they have released, that is all they have to put out to the media. It's pretty simple, people. XY chromosomes, nothing less, nothing more. They don't have to disclose anything else to you. So don't be asking for anything else, because it's pretty simple. XY chromosomes, they are male boxers.
That's it. Now, doctor, talk to me about how one fails a gender eligibility test when it comes to competing with women. You just heard the Olympic official say they're not transgender. I've also been reading reports. They identify as females, and they're calling them women, right? And they're putting them up against women. But how can they be women? As April's just say, I mean, if they have XY chromosomes, I mean, that is simple science, no?
With you, Lydia, and it does seem a little bit confusing, doesn't it? And I think the problem, as I understand it, beyond this, the social ramifications and the controversy is that there's no codification on the rules here. So the Olympic Committee, the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, has a different set of rules than the governing bodies of boxing. And nobody's agreed. And what the Olympics did was they said each individual country can decide on their own who's a man and who's a woman. And that's unsafe for the women who are competing against these people. When you have a genetic differentiation, the XY, as you talked about, you can have a difference with the external genitalia. Now, this is rare. Traditionally, they were called hermaphrodite or hermaphroditism. Now it's called, intergender. And the rules are different no matter where you go.
And Yu Ting has called the tests false. Yu Ting has accused the IBA of not following the correct standards when it comes to these tests. Ting is yet to do another test with a doctor of Ting's choosing to present the results to refute what the IBA found. All it takes is a cheek swab. Both Ting and Khelif are yet to do that. The IBA's test is wrong. Do your own test. It's very simple. Some people couldn't help but notice how Khelif celebrated, hoisted up on the shoulders of a man who isn't a spouse. And in some cultures, in particular in Muslim culture, some would argue that that is frowned upon, to say the least. Not that I'm an expert, but I have travelled to Muslim countries and you see the women covered up. But we've not seen photos of Khelif wearing a hijab. Khelif dresses in a way that I see the men dress in these cultures. Casually, appropriate for the weather, wearing shorts, while their wives are much more covered up. So one person said, as a Muslim, Arab, a woman, never that position, ever. In public, hell no. On a man's shoulders, with spread legs, no. Call us backwards, but never. President of the IOC seems to be at a loss in how to determine the difference between a man and a woman, between male and female.
We have said from the very beginning, if somebody is presenting us scientifically a solid system how to identify men and women, we're the first ones to do it. We do not like this uncertainty. We do not like it for the overall situation for nobody. So we would be more than pleased to look into it.
The president of the IOC likes to pretend that there wasn't a blood test done to determine exactly what these two athletes are. What we're witnessing in the Paris Olympics when it comes to these male boxers is the literal erasure of women in their own sports. At least one gold medal is held by a male athlete in women's boxing, and it will more than likely be two.
The day after Algeria's Imane Khelif won 66-kilogram gold, the Chinese Taipei fighter comprehensively beat Poland's Julia Swiatek in the 57-kilogram final.
The image of women sharing podiums with male athletes is all too familiar, especially in recent years, in various sports. But organisations like the IOC have brought it to the world stage, have brought it to an international level. XX versus XY is being celebrated and cheered on as women are put more and more at risk, as fairness in sports gradually fades away. And everyone who spread lies, who stated false information as if it was facts, they are complicit. They are complicit in the erasure of women's sports, in the erasure of the female category. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Like, comment and subscribe, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.